what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We are here with Cadillac at the Rolex 24 for 2023, and guess what? The return of the GTP class, and it's with this car here. So Steven's gonna show you how right now it is on its air jacks. So you'll see the air hose on the driver's side sticking out there. That actually has the jacks built into the chassis of the vehicle to lift it off the ground. That's how they do all of their tire changes and everything else to the car during the race. This is an all-new car. So Cadillac is actually taking their technology, electrification, and bringing it into the prototype class. This uses a 5.5 liter V8 paired with an electric motor to produce that extra performance. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, what kind of performance are we talking about here? We're talking about around 700 horsepower. Remember, IMSA uses the balance of performance. And Steven's gonna zoom in a little bit real quick just to kind of show the aero. You can see how you have that design philosophy with Cadillac brought into the actual race car itself. Everything is gonna be fully functional to give us that ultimate downforce, ultimate track performance. And it's interesting, a lot of people ask, hey Joe, this has a 5.5 liter V8. Is that the same 5.5 liter V8 that's in the Z06? No, that has totally separate. This is built by Cadillac with General Motors. And what's interesting is that the hybrid system is actually used, the same hybrid system is used by Porsche, used by BMW, used by Acura, because that allows a little bit more of that balance of performance where everybody's gonna have the same electric component. Now it's up to them how they want to utilize it with their particular car. Levels of regen braking, all of that magical stuff, but it is a very iconic moment, a very historical moment to be here with the car, because this is the first time in the Rolex 24 that we have electrification. Now, the rules between IMSA and the World Endurance Championship have become sort of a little bit more balanced to where this car is going to be going down the Mulsanne Straight at Le Mans, which is very exciting besides the high banks here at Daytona. But I'm going to have Steven kind of just follow me real quick just to show the interior with the way the driver cockpit is. You can see all the telemetry, everything set up for that perfect way of being able to, and we're going to back up, being able to get through what you need to do on the track. And remember, what's interesting, this is not the first go around for Cadillac with the Rolex 24. They actually started in that Y2K time period to have an open cockpit prototype. This totally enclosed. And remember, electrification is nothing new to Cadillac. We got obviously the all-new Lyriq. We have, of course, in the past, there are other hybrid setups. So this is something that really proves that the technology in the race car goes into the street car. Now you'll wonder, right above the fender, why is that cut open like this? So as we kind of zoom in, you'll see all carbon fiber bodywork. Why is this cut open? That actually relieves pressure. That helps with downforce because, and that's a lot of loud noise in here, air gets trapped underneath the fender. By having that cut open, it's actually more aerodynamic than your standard covered fender. So these are things that they've learned over the years. Obviously, you have a center lock lug nut on the wheel, and you can see how that air gun works here in the pit area. That's gonna make the pit stops quicker by having just that one center locking lug nut. But really cool to be here in the garage. We're gonna kind of go over to the side over here. It's very tight conditions with this awesome GTP car back again. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna drop it off the air jacks and move it out. So why don't we see what this car looks like a little bit in the daylight as they move it out. Let's get to it. So now that the car is off the jack stands, you can see just how low it is. And it's very interesting, that lower splitter, how everything has been developed in wind tunnels. They've been doing a lot of pre-season testing at tracks like Sebring. Obviously, with all those bumps and whatnot, it's a different beast than here at the Rolex 24. But it's really great to see all of that awesome aero that is now being utilized with this car here. And like I said, we are here live at Daytona making this happen. Steven has squeezed himself into a corner by a recycling can to make the magic happen here. But once the car gets into position, we're gonna pick it back up real quick. So let's see what's going on. So obviously, when it comes to setup, what's interesting with this new generation of GTP car from Cadillac is that you have that hybrid system. So it's gonna be interesting to see how a fuel economy is affected over the Rolex 24-hour distance. Another thing that's gonna be interesting is car balance and setup. Remember, with that battery pack, we lower the center of gravity. The teams have had to work around the different suspension setups for that extra weight from the electric motor and the battery pack. Plus, you have to also take into consideration we're using an all-new tire, which Michelin has worked very hard with all the teams to develop a new tire that's actually a little bit more eco-friendly. But let's see what else is going on. Guys, with the prototype cars, obviously everything is removable, and that's gonna make the car very easy to service if there is any problems. Now, one of the reasons why I'm here at the tail section is I wanna showcase there's some Cadillac magic that's in this tail section. You have the return, and they did this specifically, of tail fins. So think about the 1950s. The car industry was all about space age, was all about these big fins. Back again on a Cadillac, we have the tail fins. And if you want to know a fun fact, the largest tail fins on a Cadillac was that 1957 Coupe de Ville massive high. But looking at the tail fin area, you can see how all of the aero, this is stuff that you see on your street car, but where it shows up first is on the race car. Full LED lighting, nice, slim and trim. You got your massive rear carbon diffuser area, because remember, it's not just about the air that goes over the top, but also the air that gets channeled underneath the car to suck it down. And what they're finding is that compared to the Cadillac DPI car last year, these cars actually have a little bit less downforce, and that's why the times, even though they've been very quick, have been very comparable because of that extra power, but a little less downforce. Now, as we rise up, you'll notice some of that aero work with the swan neck. Now, if you've ever wondered, Joe, why do they have the wing on the lower side and not sitting up top? This is actually more aerodynamic efficient. So you're gonna be able to create the downforce, but there's less drag because of that swan neck. And you'll even notice the smaller swan neck sections that are supporting that rear section. Another little piece that you'll see is the wicker bill or gurney flap. Going back to 1967, Dan Gurney with AJ Foyt won the coveted 24 Hours of Le Mans. But one thing that Dan Gurney was all about, he wasn't just a good racer, he was also good at engineering. And that little extra piece, it may not seem like a big deal, but when you're on the high banks over 200 miles an hour in this Cadillac, this is gonna give you that extra bit of performance and stability to get you towards the front. Cadillac really, this race is important, the series is important because now you have Porsche, you have BMW, you have Acura. These are all brands that Cadillac competes with on the showroom floors and dealerships across the world. Now Cadillac gets to go up against them on the racetrack. And remember, once upon a time, somebody came up with that saying, race on Sunday, sell on Monday. Well, technically it's Saturday, but we'll still be racing on Sunday, and Cadillac hopes to be at that position at the front, especially in this new era with the 5.5 liter V8, with the electric motor, with the battery, and those, like I said, more eco-friendly Michelin tires. But these are the things that we like to bring to you here on Rady's Rides, those little sneak peeks. We're getting close. Let's do a little bit more since there's some room at the front end here, Steven. So going back to Cadillac style, they're very, very unique. I remember when I was here, when they came out with their open top cockpit, you look at the Escalade, you look at the Blackwings, they all have a unique style. And what's awesome is that unique style works very well on a race car. I just love all the unique Cadillac lines that are in that front fascia, that massive lower splitter. You can see the LED lighting as Steven comes in, showing you that they have to show the philosophy of the Cadillac design, but also have really good illumination at night. Of course, you're gonna have all those functional ducts that are gonna channel air and pull the vehicle down to the track. But just really amazing to be here with Cadillac. And what's also amazing is that, guess what? This has that naturally aspirated V8. So when it fires up, it really gives you that great sound. And that's another thing that's going to be unique this year at the Rolex 24, is that these cars will actually leave the pits on electric power. So very exciting here. Let me know what you think. Are you excited for Cadillac to be taking the future of technology right now and bringing it to the race cars, bringing it to their street cars? Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. I got to thank the whole Cadillac team, everybody, for inviting us out here to give us the close-up that you guys want. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rides family. We got to give it up to Steven. He's doing the magic. Obviously, Lori's also working hard as well. But the comments for them and the love that you show them. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.